this very 30, 40 minutes or so. I want to make sure we have time for your questions at the end. But the topics are, we're just going to talk about the transaction, what's happened. We're going to talk a little bit about what the future looks like, what the transition looks like from Sage land to Swiftpage land, or Swiftpage Nation, as we like to say. And then the third bit is we'll talk about what the future holds for the product. Look, and I think these are best viewed as a chance to have a conversation. So by all means, if there are any things that raise a question immediately, feel free to jump in. We'll see if we can address it at the time. Right now my time is your time, so we'll use it as effective as we can, so we all get what we need out of this today. And with all presentations, we will save time at the end for a bit of Q&A. We have some Q&A questions that were sent in advance. We'll try and cover all those as well. Anything that we can't cover, we'll catch on a parking lot, or let me translate that, car park, and we'll answer them in a follow-up email. By the way, I think the lawyers always make me say this at the end of these kinds of things, is that anytime we talk about product and roadmap, they are subject to change at any time, without notice, blah, 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 nature of the beast. That handsome gentleman is me. Just briefly about my background. So, as Neil said, I'm the general manager and vice president, senior vice president of Swiftpage International. That means I'm accountable for everything Swiftpage that's active in SalesLogix outside of North and South America. So the territory stretches from Newcastle in England to Newcastle in Australia. It's big. It's a lot of territory, and it's about half the revenue. This has some really important benefits to the UK customer base that we'll talk about as we go through this. I was with Sage for 3 years. So I was the general manager of the enterprise business for Sage. And that means I had accountability for 2 of the ERP products, which was Sage Line 500 and Sage 1000, ERP X3, and then all 3 of the CRM products, Sage CRM, Act, and SalesLogix, both in the UK and in a strange compilation of countries that included Italy, the Netherlands, and Russia. Don't ask me why, that's just how it was set up. I think the important thing to take away from that is we were really successful at Sage. We did a lot of things with the CRM products and the ERP products that revitalized them a bit in the marketplace. For both of those products, we went from selling almost no new sites a year to selling 20, 50 new sites a year in each of those products. And it's important because it speaks to the revitalization. It speaks to the power of these products. Before Sage, well, I'll just tell you a bit about myself. There are 2 things. I can't really pace, it bothers me. There are 2 things I swore I would never do after business school. I would never work in high tech, and I would never live in Northern California. All I wanted to be was a strategy consultant in New York City. I did that for a bunch of years. Then the guy that ran our strategy practice, he quit, became CEO of a software startup in California. You know the rest of the story. 3 months later, I was living in Northern California, working in high tech. And I came to the UK probably I came for a 6-month assignment 10 years ago. It's apparently English wives and children, they don't want to go. So you have to stay. But it's been a really eventful time for me, and I'm really excited about what this transaction means, what this opportunity means. And quite frankly, when I look at this transaction, look, Sage was a great place. I love Sage. You cut me, I bled green. But what's happened now is a remarkable opportunity for product, for our business partners, and for our customers. Sage was remarkably successful at managing across a wide portfolio of products. Right? Think of it this way: Sage had 350 products written on 80 platforms. Right? So if you think about it in those terms, Oracle has about 350 products written on about 90 platforms. But their revenue is $35 billion. was $5 billion, right? And just so that made it very difficult for Sage to manage across a large portfolio of products. And what this transaction means for the products is that, look, we have 3. Actually, we have 2. We have Act with e-marketing, we have SalesLogix with e-marketing. That's it. And that focus means everything to our business partners, to the products, and to our customers. And that's kind of what we'll talk about in a bit more detail today. Make sense? So far, so good?
Yep.
Questions? Concerns? Jokes? No? So, in simplest terms, what we think this means is that we have the best position in the world to offer a complete solution for CRM and e-marketing solutions. In fact, we don't think we can be beat. We think that this opportunity for the products, for our customers, is you're going to be able to get more out of your CRM, get more out of the e-marketing products that we have. And it allows you to do more with the software that we have. And frankly, we're going to be able to move a lot faster. Importantly, when you look at this transaction, and again, this is a concern that I shared when I looked at it. You had a company that was about 50 people and $5 million in revenue, taking over a company that was $70 million in revenue and 300 people. Right? It might give you pause. It gave me pause. But what's really important is the team that's been assembled to do this. So they've brought me over from Sage. The way that happened is when we were going through this transaction, Sage brought me into the transaction to say, what should the international business look like? So I built a plan that says, this is how we run the international business. And the buyers liked it, and they said, well, why don't you come work for us? And I said, well, why not? So that's one part of the puzzle. Another part of the puzzle, you guys might know Sage CRM. So we've also hired the general manager of Sage CRM, Morgan Malone, who over the last 3 years transformed Sage CRM into a highly competitive product in the marketplace, running much more effectively with its development. He is now the general manager of SalesLogix. We moved him from his beloved Ireland to very sunny Scottsdale. I don't think he will survive. Like me, he may burn to death. And then we've also brought on some of the people from outside to make sure that we have the best collection of talent to run a medium-sized $70 million, 300-person business. So, for example, our CEO is John Oshel, and John has experience running very large multinational companies. He's run, everyone knows Kellogg's cereal, right? So he ran Kellogg's cereal in Latin America, $300 million business. He ran Kellogg's cereal in Germany. Actually he lived in Manchester for a while, and he's been afflicted with an affinity for Manchester United. I can't break him with it, but that's just where he stands.
Doesn't live there though, does he?
Not anymore, no.
Oh, it's got all the qualifications.
Yeah, so, and he's also taken companies from 0 in revenue to an excess of $1 billion multiple times, right? And this is the team that we have assembled to lead these products, to lead the products for our customers. So, what's these are just some of the sense. What does the business look like, right? There's thousands of resellers. There are hundreds, thousands of clients across the world. I think this is probably a good moment to just to pause for a second, because again, like me, you probably have some questions about the transaction. How is it funded? What does it mean to the ownership? What does it mean when someone's knocking at the door? Okay, just my imagination. Oh, there's someone else there. Good. You can have my choice.
Thank you.
Right, so did anyone hear about the transaction and just say, whoa, what's happening? How is it funded? What does it mean to the product? I've heard about private equity firms, particularly American ones. What do they do to companies? Anyone have that concern? A couple of people? Yeah, right. I did, right? So you have private equity firms that are more like venture capital, vulture capital, as they're derisively known in the media, and they come in, they buy stuff, they strip out costs, they take away the profit, and they walk away happy. No one else does. This is not that kind of private equity company. This is KKR is one of the largest private equity companies in the world. Excel, also one of the largest private equity companies in the world. They come together to form this business together, and they only do high-tech, high-growth investments. And their reputation, their approach to the marketplace is that they invest and then they grow. And that's all that they do. This is, in fact, a little early stage for them. But they see the opportunity as we do, and they want to be a part of it. More importantly, when you look at the funding of this deal, the private equity firm, they own 16.1%. That's it. Also importantly, Sage remains an owner of the new firm. They own 16.1%. So they have a vested interest in what happens. And they've even been offered a seat on our board. But the most important statistic is that the founders and the managers of Swiftpage own 52% of the company. And people very friendly to us own another 6%. And our angel investors, if you will. So we own 58% of the company. We control our own destiny. We are not beholden to a private equity firm to meet the demands of cash flow. We are not beholden to the demands of the city to hit quarterly earnings targets. Now, it's not all good news. There is some bad news for that, because if, like me, you got used to the Sage way, and there's always you could expect a sale about every half year, but every March, every September, pretty good deal going on. We don't have those pressures anymore, right? So we don't have pressures to meet those earning results, but it means we can make much longer-term decisions on how we run the business. And that, again, that's incredibly important, because you can have a longer time horizon for your investments to pay off, your investments in R&D, your investments in marketing. So we can talk a bit more about that as we go on. So again, if you look at the portfolio, as I mentioned earlier, I think this gives us the strongest platform in the marketplace to have a total solution for CRM and e-marketing. I don't think of it as three products. I think of it as two products. We have Act with e-marketing. We have SalesLogix with e-marketing. And the idea is that whether you are a company that is, it's just you and you have an idea on your kitchen table and you need a CRM system to start managing your sales and start to marketing, we have a product for you. If, like the folks in this room, you're a bit more mature and larger of a business, we have an e-marketing CRM solution for you. Right? And it's that kind of continuity that of the products that, again, wasn't really possible in Sage. Again, it's not knocking Sage at all. It's the nature of big companies. You have big companies at times that develop into fiefdoms, right? Fiefdoms internally in Sage or between various opcos, where if you want to buy SalesLogix, there's a different price in Germany, different price in France, different price in the UK, different price in America, and they never talk. In fact, it's a different product set that's available in Germany than is available in the UK. All that's gone. Right, well, that's a bit optimistic. It's going away. It takes a bit of time to unwind, but that's going to happen. And that makes it much easier, much better for our customers who have businesses that may expand borders, that may expand artificial divisions in a company. And it's just going to make, hopefully, when you need to do business with us, again, through your partners, it makes your life much, much easier. So, what changed? What stays the same? Everything that's important. People, our commitment to our product. So everyone that developed the product, let me rephrase that. Most everyone that developed the product is still here. We did use it as an opportunity. Labor laws are a bit easier in the US to deal with than they are in the UK, or let's say maybe less restrictive. So it was an opportunity to keep, maybe clean house a tiny bit, to get rid of people who didn't think were adding as much value, who weren't going to be part of the new sort of entrepreneurial, decisive spirit that we are as a company. But everyone that was a part of that, infused with new leadership, people with the high skill, high knowledge, are all with us. Our commitment to the product stays the same, and our support stays the same. In fact, our support is going to get better. Because again, we have the opportunity now that we are in the middle of taking advantage of, that we can operate as a single company. And that operating as a single company brings benefits to our customers. We have operations in Newcastle, in Scottsdale, in Manila, in some unpronounceable Indian city that gives us the opportunity to have support that is more responsive for more hours a day. And it simply means that if you have questions to your business partner that require our help, we can go faster. Right? And that's going to, again, allow our customers to have an easier life. There's, if you think of what's staying the same, or what's changing, what's changing is where we focus. And by where I focus, I mean what Sage was really good at was selling more to their existing customers and not really looking for new customers. And what we are about is making sure that all of our customers stay with us and are happy, because you are the core of what we do. But we know that software, and a healthy software company, is about acquiring new customers, right? And it's meaningful for our existing customers because, again, you want to know that you are with a product that is going to be around for a long time. Products that are around for a long time appeal and sell to new customers. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing it in conjunction with our business partners. The other thing that changes a bit, I mean, there was probably some confusion in the marketplace before about, do you buy it direct, do you buy it from a business partner? We are only a channel business. We grew up as partners. We are only about partners. We're also, I guess the other bit is that we're dropping the Sage part of SalesLogix. We love the SalesLogix brand. We don't think we need to put anything else in front of it. It's not SalesLogix by Swiftpage, Swiftpage SalesLogix. Oh no, just SalesLogix. We love the brand. We're going to bring it back. Importantly, the other thing that's changing is that we're going, as I mentioned earlier, we are moving from an environment where we had these diverse operations spread throughout the world where you couldn't really get critical mass in order to provide the best level of service to our customers, and that changes. I mean, so we're building on the expertise that we have in England, and we are building a global center of excellence that's going to serve the needs of our customers throughout the world. You want it in French? You have it in French. Support in French. Sales in French, German, even English, as much as it passes for English in Newcastle. Okay, so just a quick aside. When I interviewed for my job at Sage, I knew it was in Newcastle. I heard it. I worked with someone when I was working with BP, and he was a Geordie through and through. And I'd only been here maybe 2-3 years at the time. I could barely understand a word he said. And this was, I'm like, I'm going out to this interview, I'm not going to be able to understand him. Turns out, no, it's actually a very lovely accent. It was just him. So again, let me pause for a second. Any questions? Anything you want to talk about more?
Are you looking to move into new markets then? New languages? Japanese?
Japanese I hadn't really thought of. I'm having a conversation tomorrow about Chinese. So we were in the Chinese market years and years ago, 2004, 2005, and that went away. But I intend to be in China in 2014, the latest. I don't know if it's going to be Mandarin or Cantonese or what it will be, but yeah, so we will definitely do that. The product's already available in English, obviously, Italian, French, German, Russian, and a few others, and we're looking at bringing Spanish back as well. again, it's very important. You need to be available in languages that our customers use. And customers, particularly in the core of where SalesLogix lives, in the mid-market, the pace of globalization is not slowing down. Right? It's speeding up the pace. And I don't know why, but not everyone speaks English. We should talk to you and get that fixed. But until then, we need to make sure that our product is available and useful to people across the world. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes now talking about the velocity of the product. And then from there, we'll move into a bit more nitty-gritty about where the product's going. So there's 4 pillars of what we're doing. Flexibility that we're known for becomes more important. Verticalization, making sure we are the best in particular areas of the marketplace. Making sure that it's anytime, anywhere you want SalesLogix, you can have it. And then making sure that we are a platform to be integrated with. So, flexibility. Like there's a couple of things in terms of flexibility, right? The market now is awash with, you can buy SaaS, you can buy cloud, you can buy private cloud, multi-tenant, single-tenant, on-premises, off-premises, hosted. Right? We've built the architecture into the product over years and years that allow us to be able to serve it on almost any way you want. You want a private cloud, you want to buy a subscription, you want to buy it, pay for it all up front, we can match any of that. You want to host it yourselves, you want your business partner to host it, all of that is possible. And in fact, we're going to accelerate it. In the US, we've had great success with our subscription cloud offering, and we're going to accelerate bringing that both to the UK and across the world. And if it's something that is interesting and appropriate to your company, it's something that, again, in conjunction with our partners, we think is a very exciting development for us. It's also, the other thing about flexibility, it's not just how it's delivered, it's about what's delivered. The old tagline on SalesLogix is about your CRM, and that's particularly important. One of the strengths of SalesLogix is that Microsoft thinks they invented this concept of XRM. We did this a decade ago. The power of SalesLogix is its ability to do just about anything in terms of that business process automation that you need. And you have companies like DMC that are particularly adept at that, that allow that product to be the core of what you do in the business. DMC can literally make the product sing. Okay, can't literally make it sing, but it's a tough crowd. And now, what the next step in that process is that there are certain aspects of SalesLogix where it does particularly well. And there are our partners, again, like DMC and our other partners across the world that have developed an expertise in a particular industry segment, even an industry sub-segment. And the idea that we are rapidly implementing is that we know the meaning of the word partner. And we're going to partner with our partners to help develop those more aggressively. We call it it's the innovation network, right? And that innovation network means that we're going to give partners like DMC that are incredible at things like financial services, more access to our source code, more access to our development team, more support from us in terms of developing that vertical in marketing. In financial services is just one of them. They have a wide range of expertise, but we will find those that make the most sense, where they have referenceability, where they have domain expertise, where they speak the language of their customers, and bring something to the table that we will emphasize. And that's going to allow them and the customer and the market in general to enjoy the benefits of this relationship. One of the things that SalesLogix does incredibly well, and we're going to focus on more and more, is the accessibility, right? You want it on your iPad, you want it on your mobile phone, you want it on use it on your laptop when you're not connected to the internet and then reconnect to that. Our product is one of the few products that allows you to have that range of connectivity. And that's something we're going to see more and more emphasis on. In fact, you'll see more emphasis on it already. Anyone have an iPad? I can't use it. My 2-year-old, however, is a whiz. Turn it on, flip 5 things. I think it's a bit frightening. And the last bit is integration, right? What did Sage do? I mean, Sage always wanted to integrate with Sage products. Admirable goal, of course, if you own an ERP product, you want to integrate with ERP products, and that's what Sage has decided to do. Part of the reason for this shift was for Sage to focus not on standalone CRM, but to focus on integrated CRM. We didn't have the best track record with integration, and that's why a lot of companies like DMC, for example, built their own integration instead of using ours or theirs. It takes a while to get used to. We, on the other hand, we don't need to integrate with a specific ERP product or a specific e-marketing product, but we're going to make our product accessible and available through common APIs so that if you are a Microsoft customer or a Live 500 customer or a Sage 200 customer, you can easily integrate with SalesLogix. And although we do own what I think is the best e-marketing solution in the world, we're not biased though. If you want to use a different one, if you think a different e-marketing solution is better for the needs of your business, then we're going to make sure that we readily and easily integrate with those solutions as well. The vision is pretty straightforward. It's just the USP is the combination of CRM and marketing. And that e-marketing needs to include social. Who's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter? Me neither. But most people are. And
I am, I just don't want you stalking me.
Someone asked me the other day, do you want to retweet this? And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. But the point of that is it becomes more and more integrated to our business life, and your business solutions need to reflect that. We do. It is the focus of what we do. And I think that, and again, that's the overriding business, is to give you a real closed-loop system to increase your operational effectiveness. Sometimes if you've been using a product for a long time, you kind of, you just get used to it, right? But what does the market say? What do the analysts say? Gartner pushes in the Challenger quadrant. Gartner has a particular bent on this. If you want to be in this box, they have a particular rule of thumb. You have to have a 10,000 seat implementation because they're really big on SaaS and enterprise SaaS offerings. It's the only way you make it into that box. And that's not what we do. Right? We are to the core of mid-market ERP, mid-market CRM application. That's what we do. Right? And that's where we want to be. And frankly, we're quite pleased with that. Again, if you look at Forrester, we are again in the leader box. And Forrester's a bit more tuned to the mid-market, and that's exactly where we need to be. We are a mid-market CRM application. That's what we do best, and that's we want to make sure that we are aligned with our customers. My absolute favorite analyst is Infotech, because they put us as a clear champion in their analysis. And again, Infotech is much more focused on the mid-market. And if you've already bought the product, does this matter too much? Not as much, but it's good to see it. It's good validation of the decision that you've had to both buy SalesLogix and keep it. Okay, so what are the trends in CRM? Right, it's cloud, it's social, it's BI, it's and we've kind of it's analytics. What information are you getting out of the system, and what are you doing with it? So in essence, you have a lot more information that you can pull into the system from social, and different ways to own and run the system, i.e. cloud, and you have different ways and different. The big question is, what do you do with all that data that that you now have in your system? How does it allow you to manage your business better? How does it allow you to find new customers and manage your customers better? And our philosophy on this is simply it's proactive CRM, right? And that proactive CRM is the theme that you will see through the rest of our roadmaps. What does it mean? I know I'm sure we've all used proactive, heard proactive overused a bit too much in our everyday life. So what's it mean? It means our applications are designed to bring to you what you need to do next. So what do you need to do next for that prospect? What do you need to do next for that customer that has called in with an issue? Right? And the point of our roadmap is to bring that together and put it in front of your staff, your people, so that they can become more productive, more effective. See, there it was. So, what's the 3-year roadmap look like? 2013, and you'll see more of this a bit later in the next couple of slides. This is about more. It's enhancing the mobile support that we already think is best in class. It's about the collaboration and integration with some of the next generation software that the expectations for that your staff will have in terms of getting out of the product. 2014 again is going to be the real first the big iteration of our proactive CRM ideas, and then we'll continue that in 2015. But then we'll also start to see real emphasis on the suite of verticalization applications. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. So again, is this stuff that is interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at our mobile apps, they're good, and we want to make them better. So that means it's making the iPad available. It means making smart caching available. Right, let's just jump on to the next slide. So it's smart caching with iPad support. It's integration with social media. It's not just Outlook integration, but it's really embedding SalesLogix into Outlook. And then it's just general improvements to how we the look and feel and productivity of the product. So if you look at the analytics that are in the product now, and it's enhancing those analytics again. So it's not just bringing more data into the system, but it's helping you analyze that and help your users understand what they need to be doing next.
Can I ask a question, Bob?
No. Yes, please.
I'll ask you anyway.
Please.
You're obviously majoring on iPad to understand what you're doing. Are you also looking at other mobile platforms?
Yes.
Like Android, for instance?
Yeah. Well, I think in the tablet market, Android is coming. Windows 8 is coming. Yeah. But iPad is still the dominant tablet. But if you look at it like smartphones, iPhone started it, but now there's multiple of Android phones in the marketplace. So we recognize the importance of that. But it is about that flexibility of people's ability to use any mobile device with SalesLogix. Also part of Trinity, again, it's cloud is not just about how the application is hosted, but the other applications that your staff use that need to be integrated with. And the Gmail integration is one we think is very important and a growing need for our users, because not the dominance of Microsoft and Outlook, but still very much a reality, is changing. And the way that people work is changing. And we need to make sure that we can change with those. Again, these are very these are subtle changes, but we think these are important ones in terms of how business is changing and how your staff is changing. Particularly, we have younger staff that come in and never had an email account, for example. There's a strange one. Like when you go to university, you get a before my time, we didn't have the internet then, but you would get an email address. Like at grad school, I got an email address. Now it turns out when students are coming into universities, they don't want email addresses. You're like, here's your email address. I don't want it because they don't work that way anymore. Right? They only work through Facebook or LinkedIn, right? Whatever. That's how they communicate, and it's changed. We need to be aware of it so we don't get left behind. I have some some younger folks in our office. If they can't find it or review it online, they won't buy it. And I have some of them that if you can't buy it online, they won't buy it. If you can't pay for it with PayPal, not interested. And I have some other friends that if you can't buy it on a smartphone, and if it doesn't look good on a smartphone so it's easy to use, I'm not going to buy it. I mean, these changes take time, but they're definitely there. It's coming. And we, as a responsible software company, need to be prepared for that.
So, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
You look at integration with Office 365 as well?
Don't know. We'll capture that one. So we have owned the company since March 20th. What have we done? In this month, last month, in April, we released 2.1, which was a dot release on version 8. Again, more improvements to the mobile device. This is already out in the marketplace, available for anyone. It's iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry. I am very sad, by the way. Today is the day that my BlackBerry dies.
No,
You're not celebrating?
I have been a BlackBerry user for more than 10 years now. It's my constant companion. I remember being on I was in the Himalayas. I was on a mountain. I was so desperate to get my BlackBerry signal, but apparently I don't have GPRS coverage, so it's difficult. But I live and breathe with my BlackBerry. My wife, when we go on vacation, she tries to hide it from me. Again, so we've introduced a series of widgets that can integrate into SalesLogix to give you web feeds, web page widgets that pull stuff into SalesLogix, and other technical gizmos that might be fun for your staff to have, and again, add to that productivity. So if there are things that your staff needs as part of their day, instead of having to explain it to you guys, instead of having to click around, you can just have it all in one place. And again, this is stuff that we've done since March, because we felt it was important to demonstrate quickly the difference between companies that moved a bit more slowly like Sage and one that was very fast and agile like